All right, guys, what's up? Evan Aldo here. So, a couple of things I wanted to talk to you guys about. Haven't, well, on the live streams, I do talk about things other than crypto, but wanted to talk a little bit about the things everybody's been talking about right now. Obviously, the SPY, obviously, oil, commodities in general, for that matter. So, let's just look at a perspective here, kind of, what happens, potential bottom. So, what we were hoping for, what we were really hoping for, at least what I was hoping for, is we'd kind of rip the Band-Aid off quicker with Bitcoin. Going back to let's go on a logarithmic scale so you could kind of so it's easier to see. You know, Look at where we bottomed out here on this green dot. It's similar to this over here, but money flow is much deeper in the red here. This looks, in terms of money flow, like we gotta go off another cliff here. Like we gotta go down for the next, couple months at least. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. It looks very similar to October 2014, where you had, you got a little green, came back down, you consolidated a little tease, and then you came down to your bottom about 3 months later. So 3 months from here would be June, July, August, beginning, around, or the month of June, month of July, month of August, around September. That's the main place I'm looking. August, September, maybe even October, that general area to kind of bottom out. I feel like, with the Fed, they're being pretty ruthless right now. They don't seem to like Biden as much as they like Trump. It seems like Powell liked Trump a lot better than Biden, which is interesting. It seems like you're gonna get in deeper here. You're gonna have to go deeper into the red here. When would that happen? If you map it out kind of like this, that would bring us a bottom in around September. So say we go deeper into the red on our 6-day. Bottom in September, and you'd probably get, a nice bullish div here. Price would go down quite a bit more. And let's look at our weekly right here, because I wanted to show you guys the weekly 200-week moving average. So let's look at that. We got it set to the 300 right now. This was the pandemic dump brought us down to there. That's probably your worst case scenario, whatever this is in September, probably like 18K, 17K around there. Worst possible case scenario, in my opinion. I mean, that's just in the worst of cases. Fed really doesn't care at all. They're just like, you know what, we're letting it go down, whatever, or a black swan event. However, what's more likely, weekly, what's a weekly going to be at this point? A little bit higher, 22, 23, maybe even 24. So you got a last leg down to 24. And as this happens, we know alts are going to get destroyed in this, destroyed. They're going to go down a lot more. So, be careful with the alts here. This is mainly an accumulation time for Bitcoin, because you got to realize historically the alts do bottom out with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin outperforms them for a while after. So ideally you want to get in alts when, after you get that div, after, we could have that weekly, it may not turn, it could take a while. You may come down again with the VWAP here and then come back up. Also on the monthly, another reason why we may not be at the bottom here. One second here. Look at these bear markets here. This VWAP stayed below the zero line for a while. We haven't been below the zero line for that long here. Look how long it stayed below the zero line. A while longer. This would bring us to, October, November even. You bottomed out, towards that area. So if you kind of map out where we are, it would be a few more months. Yeah, maybe even November, probably October for this matter, that we bottom out here. So you got to get that green dot when that happen. It could be towards the end of the year, worst case scenario. I do think we'll bottom out a little bit before that. This is kind of dragging on. So that's another reason why we're not bottomed out yet. Another reason to lean a bit more bearish. What could happen, right now, what I've been looking at, especially, look right here. Look at these points. It could be something like this, very similar to this area where, this was kind of the first, wick down to 25. And then you have a few more wicks down, one wick down to 24, and then a final wick down to maybe a little later in that, if it's in mid-August or something, final wick down to 22, 23, something like that. It could repeat that area, and alts would probably get destroyed in that scenario. Also, total crypto market cap, we're not that deep. We're not that deep in the red yet. We're at this point right before we had another drop down. So this was a nice, 54% drop down. If we drop down, 54%, that would bring us right to the next big point. I'm not saying this is going to happen. There is some hope to keep the $1 trillion market cap, definitely. But, you test this point right here, $500 billion market cap. Bitcoin holds up kind of well. I don't know. We probably would go under 20K in that scenario, but alts would really get hammered the most. That's what I would kind of derive from this. There is hope, definitely a lot of hope to what I've been thinking, just a wick down to this general area around 900 or something in the coming months, and that would make definitely a lot of sense. You kind of just consolidate, and then you come down to this point around September. Then that's your bottom. So that would make a lot of sense there. Okay. So, moving on, assuming Bitcoin continues to go down and follows the SPY, a lot more, the S&P 500 a lot more than it used to. This looks like it wants to come down a bit more, especially on the weekly here. You definitely had your jump up, which you do see those a lot, especially, let's go all the way back here. Let's go back to 08, because that's what everybody likes to talk about. Look, there, jump up, then down more. Could be something like that. Look, I don't think we're going to go into a major recession like this and go down that much. Too much money has been printed. I don't think it's really possible right now for us to go down 55% or whatever that was. But what could happen is we could easily go into kind of a mini recession or something. We reject off of this area. Then, it gets more boring too. In these times, it gets a little bit more boring. You come back up in August, and then you have a drop down or something. That can bring us out to November or something. It could be earlier too. It could be definitely earlier. I'm kind of mapping it out for September, next few months. I think it's going to happen a little bit quicker than not. Or we just continue down like this. That's one possibility as well, right to September. The market could get choppy here. Bear markets are complicated. Bears, they get on their hind legs. The bulls can't really do that. They jump up and down. It gets a little bit more, it gets weird. It gets more complicated. So that's what I'm seeing for S&P 500. So, everybody's talking about, the elephant in the room. It's oil. It keeps going up. If you're long on oil, if you're FOMOing into oil right now, where do you get out? And that's the question. That's the question I'm going to try to answer. So our next kind of big place is 120. Obviously, 100 is a psychological area. Kind of rejected off of there and these previous areas. But I think you'll probably pull through 100. 100 will be like the big FOMO area where everyone starts to FOMO in. Then you may get up another 20%. This is the big area. So what we want to look at for oil and what I think is going to happen is what we want to see is something like, I think you'll come up at the VWAP again, or maybe up here. They'll bring it to July. And then you'll come down August, maybe mid-August, you get that red dot. That may mark a local top for oil. Not saying that's going to be the top, but see, as you have money flow coming out here, and then you're probably going to get something like this, and you're bouncing around here probably. Something like that, maybe, because it's been sideways. You bounce around, you have some volatility there. Then you come back down. So this is the big point to look. $120 about. And when you get a bearish div here while you have money flow coming out, big way to catch a top on something. Could even go higher. I don't know if, I think once you get to 120, everybody's going to really be talking about this. They already are now, but I think you have a little bit more room with this, especially for commodities in general. I think this will probably top out, when Bitcoin bottoms out probably, and the SPY bottoms out. That would kind of make sense. That would make sense for it. So sometime between probably mid-August and November. That's what I would say. It would be, I was originally thinking we'd have a rally up for midterms, to boost up Biden's approval rating a little bit and help out the Democrats. But no, it doesn't seem like that's really going to happen, at least not at the moment. So other scenario, and this is huge bit red wave. I mean, if we do bottom out in August, September, and then you rally up from there a bit, it could help them out a little bit. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, where his approval ratings are at with all this going on. So that's what I want to say. I mean, it would make for probably a good idea to, if you're long on oil, taking profits around this area, moving those into altcoins when altcoins are really, really, really down. And I'm talking like what I would be looking at for some altcoins, like let's take a project, like Atom or something where you could get a lot of bang for your buck with, something that could go, this looks pretty bearish, kind of more of a consolidation. You're about to get a green dot in the weekly. I don't know if I'd really buy that as a bottom. We'll see if it even confirms, but these altcoins, the Cardano in the last bear market went down 98%. These could go down a lot. This is a 90% correction from, this held up pretty strong too. go down to $5. Worst case, probably 94 or $2, something like this. They could go down a lot. And if you kind of map out what could happen with some of these, a lot of these are crossing into the red right now. If your bottom is, September, around there or something, things go down faster than they come up. Keep that in mind too. August, September, this general area. So, say we come, what's the percentage there? It'd probably be a double of this type of correction, another kind of 70% down from where we are right now. That would bring you right down to this area, $2. Not saying that's going to go that low, but that's definitely the place to look. That's where, that's where you can make life-changing money. Never financial advice, but that's where you could possibly make life-changing money in the next bull run. Because even if you get to just to your previous all-time high, I mean, that's what, a 20x? Yeah, that's 20x right there. If you get up to $100, $2 to, $100 with this, that's life-changing money. What is that, a 30x or something? Let's see. If you go from, $3, let's say, about a 30x. So that's life-changing money. I mean, that, theoretically, I need to be responsible with these. Any of these could fail, but I think Adam definitely has a good shot. Same with a lot of these altcoins. I know this is a very bearish stance, but the Fed is ruthless. These bear markets tend to be ruthless. So, keep an eye on this. Bitcoin is definitely, the Bitcoin dominance just keeps rising here. Let me show you what I'm looking for Bitcoin dominance. And this is, this is a good place to look to get into altcoins. When the Bitcoin dominance, and we're just, let's look at the monthly here, good curvature there. Looks like it's going to go up. When the Bitcoin dominance, look at the last time, January 2021, it was real high. And then September, when we were bottoming out in, or actually 18, or yeah, around here, excuse me, that's what I meant, 57. So this general area, 55%, this is when you really got to start to look to get into altcoins. This could go up quick too. Look how it went up quick like that, right there. Let's look at our weekly. Good curvature upward. 3-day, you're getting those money flow crossovers there. So you could kind of guesstimate what's going to happen here. Say it goes up to this point, October, September or something, you top out around here, not 65%. I wouldn't say it would go up. Could go up close to that, close to that or something. If you get out a lot of these all crap tokens, crap tokens, all of that, get out all of that, and then you're kind of home free here. So that's what we really got to look at for altcoins. So now is the main point. I know it sounds too conservative. Main point, look at the Bitcoin, or if you're really bearish on crypto in general, wait a few months. Commodities, I think, will continue to go up. Oil, I mean, some people are into coffee. There's commodity index funds. Look into that. A few more months, probably. Never financial advice, anything could happen, but a few more months, definitely really good at that. Or look into trading. I have a great trading course. Link in description below. We're doing a discount code this month. If you're interested in that, I go over, all the ways I do my trades, how I do my market cipher technical analysis, trading psychology, risk management, all the things theoretically you would need to know to be a profitable trader. I think it's going to save you a lot of headaches, especially if you're never traded before. So yeah, also I do my exclusive Discord, link in description below, with some of my Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoin trade entries and take profits. Not right 100% of the time, but we had some really good trades in there, and some of my exclusive TA, mainly crypto, but I do stocks too a little bit. So check those out. And if you want to create a new account on BITGET, FEMEX, my link's in the description below. It's the same promo that I think every YouTuber gives you, so check that out. Market Cipher, link in the description below. Use my link and my discount code down below if you want to. And also, if you want to do a one-on-one session with me, link in the description below. All right, guys, have a good one. Goodbye.